What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound. And I do have a new song out called Dreamin', so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, let's talk about DEC, because my big question for you all is, are we about to have a major supply squeeze on DEC? Now, I've been calling this out for a while, and it's actually been quite consistent. Again, shout out to Bulldog for calculating this a while back. But if you look at the company's DEC reserves, we usually burn through them at about 40 million DEC per week. And that's been consistent since, like, I don't know, maybe September of last year. And as you can see, we are now closing in on the final part of this. We should be done probably by the end of February, early March at the very latest. But there's 71 million DEC in the coffers. Remember, they got 600 million for Conclave Arcana, 600 million for what was it called, the Hall of Legends, and then I forgot how much they got for the promo, having promo last year. But again, we've burned through, or not burned through, but the team has cycled through all of that. It's all back out into the ecosystem, and so here we are with only 71 million left. So 40 million per week, that's what we're roughly at. That should be done by the end of the month. So what comes next? Well, I was playing with some numbers here, and I just want to share them with you. Again, this is just rough stuff, but if we go over to the pools, for example, here on Tribal Decks, let me go to swap. Now, never mind. Let's go to pools so I can show you just how much is available. If we go down to DEC, so you can see here that with DEC, and let's look at 7 days, right? So the 7-day volume, roughly 1 week, is about $80,000 on DEC SPS, but the one that has the most volume, actually, we should look at this one, is Swap.Hive in DEC. Even though it doesn't have the most liquidity, it does have the most volume at $324,000 per week. But again, I think that's just bots trading back and forth. So let's do this. Let's take a look at the SPS DEC pool, because that has the most liquidity, which means it's the deepest overall. And let me go here to swap, and what we'll do is we'll go to SPS on this side, and then DEC on the other side that we are swapping to. And what I just want to check is if the team were to come in every Sunday, Monday morning, whatever it is, once a week, and smash by 40 million DEC, right? So 40, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so again, it's not about the amount of SPS. What I want to see is the price impact. And that would raise the price almost 19% in just that week. But keep in mind that the team probably wouldn't come in and smash by. This is too much slippage. There's too much of a price impact that happens. So let's say they do something simple where they start buying like 7 million a day, right? To get to roughly 42 million per week. 1, 2, 3. I mean, again, that starts to really raise it up 2.5% of a price impact per week. Now, keep in mind, there are other pools, so all this stuff would normalize and equalize out, and there would be a new equilibrium balance that would be found. But here's the thing. It wouldn't last forever, because as you can see here, we have 71 million in the company coffers, but there's only 285 million in the market and pools. So if the team were to just keep buying DEC and no more DEC made its way back into the pools, meaning that players didn't sell, but we're going to get into that in a second, then this would be what? Another 7 weeks, right? 280 divided by 40 is 7 weeks. So we would see DEC get back up to peg, and then probably even above peg if nobody was selling their DEC and the team had to just, roll with it. But again, obviously at that point, we wouldn't go too far above peg, because people would just start burning SPS. The team would then switch over and start buying SPS, and that's where things get really interesting for the flywheel effect. But there's two things to keep in mind as we go through, and I've been trying to call them out as we go along. The first of which is the one that we'll take a look at here. Players are holding over 1 billion DEC. Now, why are they holding this? No idea. It could be for land, maybe, because we know land could potentially be coming out in the next month or so. We know that people might be stocking up for Conclave Arcana, but it's hard to determine how much of that is just players holding DEC for the future, or for some kind of product release in the future, or trading, right? Because it's been probably great if you were able to buy DEC at lower than 700 Splintoshis and then sell it, once it gets closer to peg. I mean, that's like a 20-30% increase. And you know that it's coming because at some point either the team or the community is going to start buying DEC en masse. So I don't know what the risk is. Obviously, the maximum risk there is about 1 billion, but I don't think it's entirely that, right? So we'll have to see, because as the team starts buying DEC off the market, right, the market and pools will start to go down. down, meaning that the price of DEC will go up as it becomes scarce, but then the players will sell DEC back into those pools, refilling those coffers. So these two top ones here are going to be interesting to watch. Players and market and pools, because we should start to see this decrease over time as players who are, or just investors who are holding on and speculating on DEC for that trade, start to sell back into the pools to capitalize or to take profit on their trade. So that's one aspect. The other aspect, as I made a video of it recently as well, is the reward card burning, or just card burning in general. Now, the Chaos Agent reward cards represent the highest risk. I calculated that out as like 1.5 billion, but again, that's maximum. That includes gold foils, and it includes every card that's out there. So even the ones that I'm holding, for example, that I never plan on burning because I'm playing with them and other people are playing with theirs. So again, this was just arbitrary, but my guess is about 500 to 750 million could potentially come from that, but that could be mitigated with the release of survival mode, and if survival mode can help to raise the value of cards, especially those in that category, right? The Chaos Legion reward cards, since there's so many of them. Because if it becomes more profitable to rent or just to sell them outright, then people wouldn't bother burning them, right? You don't get a good value for burning them. So at this point, we'll have to wait and see how things play out, but I do think that we are approaching some kind of DEC squeeze. Now, I've been saying that when Conclave Arcana comes out, the pre-sale, if it sells out, and that's a big if, but if the pre-sale sells out, would be about 4.4 billion DEC, of which you can see we clearly don't even have that much available, right? That there's 5.4 in circulation, 5.4 billion, but 2.2 billion of that is sitting in the DAO. Right, so just immediately take that, and we're immediately under 4.4, and then you got another 1.5 billion in land, which I don't think is going to come off for Conclave Arcana. So at that point, that's when things start to get really interesting. But could this happen sooner rather than later? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So it all depends. But I think the fireworks could start. Maybe not fireworks, but the wheels of the flywheel, right, could start to turn ever so slightly and slowly in just a couple of weeks here. But I do think that there is a supply squeeze incoming at some point within the next couple of months, which could make things very interesting. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. I'll catch you all on the next one and see you around the game. Take care.